The Philadelphia Story, released in 1940, is easily one of my favourite movies of all time. I rewatch it at least once a year, and every time I watch it, I fall in love with it just a little bit more. This comedy of manners became an instant classic the moment it was released. It combined humour with social commentary. And the film's lasting success can be attributed to its expert blend of storytelling, incredible performances, and a focus on the complexity of love and class. Philadelphia Story revitalised Katharine Hepburn's stalling career, solidified Cary Grant's position as the ultimate leading man, and earned James Stewart his one and only Academy Award. But what is it about this film that makes it so exceptional? Let's get into it. Before it made its way to the screen, The Philadelphia Story was actually a really successful play written specifically for one woman and one woman only, the incredible Katharine Hepburn. Because by the late 1930s, despite her talent, Hepburn had suffered a series of commercial failures, including Bringing Up Baby and Holiday, both also starring Cary Grant, and side note, have gone on to become absolute classics and some of the best films of all time. But because they bombed, this led her to being branded box office poison by critics and studio executives, casting doubt on her commercial appeal. However, Hepburn was determined to regain her position in Hollywood and chose to take control of her career, my queen. It was playwright Philip Barry who recognised Hepburn's potential for the role of Tracy Lord, the fiercely independent yet emotionally vulnerable Philadelphia socialite who was preparing for her second marriage. Barry, known for his keen understanding of contradictions within high society, wrote the play with Hepburn in mind. Tracy Lord is a character that embodies both regal poise and deep, relatable sensibility, a combination that I think perfectly mirrored Hepburn's own personality. So Hepburn not only starred in the Broadway play, but made a savvy business decision by purchasing the film rights to the play with the help of her then boyfriend, aviation mogul and film mogul Howard Hughes. Hepburn chose to then sell the film rights to Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, MGM, obviously, Hollywood's leading studio at the time, but under the condition that she would star in the film. The choice was influenced by MGM's reputation for producing really high-quality films and their ability to attract top talent, aligning with Hepburn's vision for the project. So when selecting the director for The Philadelphia Story, Katharine Hepburn opted for George Cukor, a filmmaker known for his expertise in directing sophisticated comedies, and his collaborative relationship with Hepburn. They had originally worked together on Holiday in 1938. Cukor's directional style complemented Hepburn's strengths, ensuring the comedy would capture the sharp wit of the original play and bring that to the screen. And the collaboration also allowed Hepburn to have more creative control over the film's tone and execution. And when it came to casting the two male leads, Hepburn had her sights set on Clark Gable and Spencer Tracy, recognising their natural chemistry with her and the ability to match her wit. But they were already busy, and Cary Grant was ultimately cast as Hepburn saw in him the charm, humour and sophistication needed for the role of her ex-husband, C.K. Dexter Haven. The pair had worked previously together on Sylvia Scarlett, Holiday and Bringing Up Baby, so they already had a natural working chemistry, which is so important as actors. Cary Grant was a very, very savvy businessman with money in mind. I'm reading his his biography at the moment, and he was very much a businessman. So he only agreed to the role after securing top billing and the significant salary of $137,000, which apparently he later donated to the British war effort. For the role of Mike Connor, the sharp-tongued tabloid reporter, that's hard to say, sharp-tongued tabloid reporter, MGM turned to James Stewart. James Stewart was known for his boyish charm, all-American sincerity, and he seemed like an unlikely choice for a romantic lead in this sort of comedy. Yet under director George Cukor's guidance, Stewart delivered one of the most charismatic performances in his career and maybe of all time, culminating in a hilarious, slightly tipsy midnight conversation with Cary Grant that remains one of the film's highlights. Seriously, it's probably one of the funniest scenes in any movie. Please watch it. The way they spar off each other, it's two wonderful actors at work. It's just a masterclass in comedic timing, in acting for film, in everything. Please go watch the movie, but look out for this scene. In a later interview, Jimmy Stewart recounted how he would get a heavy crush on every girl that was in every picture he did. However, this wasn't necessarily the case in the Philadelphia story. Although the chemistry between Hepburn, Grant and Stewart was undeniable, the making of this film wasn't without challenges. Hepburn and Stewart initially struggled to find the right romantic dynamic, with Hepburn feeling Stewart's performance lacked the fluidity she was hoping for in their love scenes. Stewart, known for his boyish charm, had a more reserved style which Hepburn kind of found difficult to play off in romantic scenes. Meanwhile, Grant and Stewart's contrasting acting styles led to a few disagreements. Grant was known for his suave, improvisational approach, while Stewart's earnestness and methodical delivery created a little bit of friction between the pair. However, their mutual respect for one another ensured the atmosphere remained ever professional. What makes the Philadelphia story a true masterpiece, in my eyes, the dialogue, the humour, the take on love and social class. What I love watching this film as a woman is that Tracy Lord, the protagonist of this film, is no helpless heroine. She's intelligent, independent, and self-sufficient. And as the story unfolds, we see that even the most confident people can have deep vulnerabilities. At the start of the movie, Tracy is convinced that she needs a man who lives up to her high standards of perfection, someone who can meet her every single expectation. However, through her interactions with her ex-husband, Dexter, and her fiancé, George Kittredge, and the tabloid reporter Mike, Tracy is forced to confront herself and reevaluate her understanding of love. Ultimately, she learns that true love involves acceptance and understanding, and even the imperfections that make all of us human. Donald Ogden Stewart, who was tasked with adapting the play into a screenplay, strikes a really delicate balance between comedy and social commentary, which I've mentioned before. I think that's why I love so much about it. On one hand, the film satirises the rigid class distinctions of Philadelphia's upper crust, offering a witty critique of their self-importance. But on the other hand, it celebrates growth, connection, and the idea that people are more than just the roles they play in society. We're all deeply human and deeply flawed. Like many comedies of the time, which relied on slapstick and physical humour, the Philadelphia story takes a more refined approach, with humour grounded in sophisticated banter and sharply drawn characters. Upon its release on January 17th, an amazing day because that's my birthday, 1940, a little bit before I was born, the Philadelphia story was both a critical and commercial success. Audiences and critics alike praised the film. In 1940, the New York Times, Bosley Crowther praised the film as a blue-chip comedy with a witty script, high society elegance, and a stellar cast. He noted that the Philadelphia story beautifully showcased the privileged classes enjoying their privileges. Film earned 6 Academy Award nominations, including Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actress for Katharine Hepburn. However, it was Ogden Stewart who won Best Screenplay, and Jimmy Stewart taking home the Oscar for Best Actor for his portrayal. Stewart's Oscar win was particularly significant as he'd been nominated the year before for Mr. Smith Goes to Washington but had lost. Many saw Stewart's win in 1940 as a well-deserved consolation prize. And a little fun fact that I love, he actually gave his Oscar to his dad to display in his hardware store in Indiana, Pennsylvania, where it was displayed for many years. Imagine if you didn't know that that was Jimmy Stewart's dad and you went to like the small town hardware store and was like, why is there an Academy Award standing here? That'd be a dream for me. And although Hepburn didn't win Oscar for Best Actress, ultimately went to Ginger Rogers for Kitty Foyle, the Philadelphia story marked a triumphant return to the top for her. The film's success not only restored her star power, but also provided to both the public and the studios the proof that she was still and will always be a major star in Hollywood. Hepburn's performance was hailed as one of her finest, and the film set the stage for a series of successful projects throughout the 1940s, such as Woman of the Year and Adam's Rib. And of course, we can't talk about the Philadelphia story without mentioning the 1956 remake, High Society. High Society gave the Philadelphia story a musical twist, keeping the original's wit and glamour while adding a jazzy Cole Porter score, with Bing Crosby, Grace Kelly in her final film role before becoming the Princess of Monaco, and Frank Sinatra leading the cast. The film swapped Philadelphia's high society for the glitzy backdrop of the Newport Jazz Festival, and even featured the one and only Louis Armstrong. And while a lot of people, and I've been sternly told this on my Instagram page when I've asked what film do people prefer, felt that the high society didn't quite capture the magic of the Philadelphia story, Its star power and musical charm made it a hit. When I was younger, I preferred High Society, I think because I was younger and it was so pretty, and I loved Grace Kelly and I loved the songs, because the songs in High Society, Did You Ever, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, are so good. But as I've gotten older, I so much appreciate the Philadelphia Story more. But they're still on their own two fantastic films, but the Philadelphia Story, I think, is just like a class above High Society. And beyond its immediate and obvious success, the Philadelphia Story helped shape Hollywood's approach to romantic comedies for decades to come. It demonstrated that audiences desired intelligent, character-driven stories. Please listen to Hollywood executives now, writers. We love this stuff. And we still love to watch second chances, personal growth, and breaking free from societal expectations. And it remains a gold standard for romantic comedies even today. It's influenced movies like When Harry Met Sally and To Notting Hill, which I think when you watch them, you can see all are a little bit of debt to the Philadelphia Story. And Tracy Lord, perhaps one of my favourite female characters of all time, with her mix of confidence, independence and vulnerability, set the stage for strong female leads in romantic comedies and became an enduring feminist icon. At a time when Hollywood often confined women to passive romantic roles, Tracy was strong-willed, assertive and unapologetic in her independence. Her influence can be seen in characters like Bridget Jones and even the modern adaptation of Elizabeth Bennet in Pride and Prejudice 2005. Women who, like Tracy, refuse to be defined by society's expectations. And that's exactly why I love them. Katharine Hepburn once famously said, "If you obey all the rules, you miss out on all the fun." And I think the Philadelphia Story is proof of that philosophy. And more than 80 years later, the Philadelphia Story stands still as one of the greatest romantic comedies of all time, and it feels fresh and vibrant and so wonderful every single time I watch it. And I would love to know if you've seen it, if you love it as much as me. Do you prefer High Society? There might be someone out there that does. I'm sure there are, because that's a really great film too. Let me know your thoughts in the comments about this wonderful film. And if you enjoyed this video, please leave me a comment and a like, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel so I can keep growing it, because I am so passionate about these films and this era of Hollywood. And I will see you next time. Take care.